This is about this title's going to say the vices and virtues of pride. Uh, I actually made a little list here to help me along, but I reference this. I need it. So basically, I guess first off, it's on a look at it as it's on a spectrum. This pride in the neutral sense. There's things that give you like cause a low little like I'm trying to show hands a little bit of pride, and there's things that fill you up full of a lot of pride. You're proud. Uh, let's see what I actually wrote here. All right, so there's just a little bit. I call that like humble pride, right? Like you just did the dishes or something, right? And it's not a big deal. It's just, but you're happy you got your chore done, and so there's a little bit of like, yeah, I got this done. You know, it's not you're not making a big deal about it. And there's sometimes like it could be you're in a horrible depression, and you just it's not even that you feel even a little bit of even just a little bit of proud to just get into the day, but that little bit of like that little tiny bit of pride that you just kind of have just helps you get through the day. Whereas if you're super proud, you know, it's just you've done some great work. Like you've maybe you've painted a masterpiece. You know, the best work of your life, or you know, you're getting congratulations from a lot of people. And this is all chemistry. And it's brain dopamine and whatnot like that. So it's all like natural stuff. So it's pretty crazy when it's demonized such that oh, you shouldn't feel any pride at all. You know, every last little accomplishment and every last little thing you should be for God only. Like, if you're a creation of God and you do stuff, like it's kind of it goes to God anyways. And why would God give humans the ability to feel like happy for themselves? And it's but see, okay, so it's on a spectrum, but then there's like a middle point. It's not the high or the low, but it's like I forget which philosopher it was. He was saying like the extremes on both ends are bad, but there's like a middle point. So I would say like that humble pride and that proud pride, they're sort of on the middle, and where it gets kind of crazy because I'm kind of thinking this because of Pride Month and whatnot is smugness for the low end. You get smugness where it's just kind of like a hand like I'm better than you, and you ain't got to say anything. You just kind of got like this smirk, and it's like looking down upon others. Whereas the proud version of it, try to use specific words here. Oh yeah, I just put it as just arrogance, uh, telling other people what to do, how they should talk, how they should talk. Like if you got pride and someone's putting you down, like well, one, it's disrespect. You ain't gotta stand for that. But to actively go out of your way to like swat at every barking dog, like it's just it's it's to the point to where you're swatting at people that aren't even like trying to diss you. There really is no disrespect there. It's just the person's narcissism makes them feel that way. And sometimes people are a victim of a lot of bullshit, and so there could be an overreaction in that sense. But the healthy pride of over time like will help tone that down. Uh, a lot of times it's actually pride is can be born of oppression. People trying to control you, and so there's a rebellion against that, and in that rebellion you kind of figure out who you are. Sometimes it's just life struggles, like maybe it's just getting through a really hard time, and through that struggle you learn self-confidence, you learn to rely on yourself. That's definitely a thing about the healthy form of pride. It's very self-reliant. It doesn't require the validation of others. I would say on the opposite sort of spectrum of the arrogant sort of pride is the religious humility, where it's at the low end it's just self-denying, like oh I don't deserve that, or it's like I don't accomplish anything. Like God accomplishes everything like for me, kind of thing. But like God put us on this planet so we can do stuff like like outside of His influence, so to speak, or at least on our own. The angels sing God's praises like continuously all the time. Humans weren't put on Earth to do that, but people think they do. And at the proud end, where someone should feel proud, like it becomes, instead of just being self-denying, it becomes self-condemning. Where, I mean, I guess at the extreme end, you got someone flogging themselves, like some crazy shit like that. But then they project that onto others. And really, on those too far extremes of pride, there's a lot of it's the opposite of self-reliant. It's like there's everyone has to conform. Either everyone has to conform to not having any pride and being obedient to some ideology. It could be patriotism, it could be corporatism, or the other. And then the other side of it is the arrogant side of it is everyone has to be obedient to my will of how I see things, instead of me just going out and being me and just dealing with shit as it comes. It's, I'm gonna shove this in your face, you're gonna like it, and well, I mean, to be honest, to be crude about it, it's just you call a bigot if it's, oh, you don't subscribe to, like, you don't validate me, then you're a bigot. But if you truly have pride, you don't need anyone else's validation. A lot of it's self-knowledge through struggles and through blessings too, because God gives us blessings, and it's also like we'll be in a time of struggle, and we'll learn about ourselves, and it'll cause changes, and then we'll get a blessing that helps us take that self-knowledge and expand it in a new kind of way. Like when I first started transitioning and whatnot, I didn't know really like what kind of clothes I liked or anything like that. And after being homeless at various times and just not having a lot, I've really had to pare down like what I like. And through that, I've been able to really define and refine. Like a lot of pride is your own personal refined taste. I've been able to refine that. And so now, like, when my blessings come and I can get new shit or express myself, like I have a means to express myself, I can do it in a more focused and refined way because I've been through those struggles. And a lot of pride is it's a reaction of, it's like an internal expression that goes outward, but like modesty has a lot to do with it. From the religious thing, they become overly like Muslim women are not allowed to have pride. They just like, and really that's men's pride, but they don't want to admit that they're prideful. They want to just say that they're humble and whatnot, blah blah blah, and then they want to like project all their evils, whatnot, their temptations onto women and say, no, you're not allowed. You got to wear this big black sheet over you. You're not allowed any kind of. You're like a blank slate. Like it's prison shit. A lot of religion is like prison shit, because you look at the Stanford prison experiment, they try to take away people's free will, they take away your self-identification, all that kind of stuff. Then at the other far end of it, it's Western culture. It's fucking absurd. Like running around half fucking naked and just like, oh, it's my body, my choice, blah blah blah. Like, you're gonna support it. That's definitely another thing. It's just the bad types of pride, they demand respect. But respect isn't given, it's earned. I don't need to demand anybody's respect. Like, I'll earn it or I won't. At the end of the day, though, I respect myself. Like, that's what matters. And everyone definitely, like, it fluctuates where they are, and like no one's like perfectly centered. Everyone has their bullshit. So, I mean, for me, it's like I'll think like, oh yeah, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, and then I'll try to go do it, and then I'll just start doubting myself. So I'll go from like way up here to way down here, but I'm not projecting it onto other people. And that's really the big thing with like religion and pride parades and fucking corporatism and wage slave culture. A lot of people get their pride from their job, and it's just like you can't criticize. And people, it's tribal. So if your job is your tribe, and that's all you know, because like all you do is just work, and that's just okay. That's cool if that's how you are. But then it's like, oh well, these people aren't doing living how I live, so they're shitty. Or well, there's nothing wrong with what I do, even though like it has environmental consequences. Like maybe someone's dumping chemicals into the water. Like, okay, well that's not good, but you know I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. Everyone does that. There's got like kind of fucked up shit that is a consequence of what they do unintentionally. But to sit there and say, oh, it never happens, or it doesn't matter, or it's irrelevant, like that's really like the there's nothing wrong with me sort of pride. Like I can't be criticized. Like everyone can be criticized. One of my favorite things is like if anyone tells you they have all the answers, that person's full of shit. Like I don't have all the answers. That's why I had to write some notes down. Shall I like look over real quick? I got a couple more minutes. Oh yeah, it's another sense of false pride. It's not only with like is that it's identity politics, but that could also come in the form of video games. People get prideful because they've accomplished something on a video game. Like that's really substitute activities, and it's sort of it. Those things like they replace where the pride should be. Like a person should be prideful enough that they don't let themselves fall too low. I just say pride is the greatest sin, probably because it makes you arrogant as fuck. So it makes you more vulnerable to all the sins. But if it wasn't, if it's not taken to the extreme, it actually stops you from falling into other sins. Like you'd be slothful for say a Saturday. All right, yeah, you're just chilling, playing some games, whatnot, But then like after, if you do it for like just time and time again, it's just all your time's being sucked up into it. Your pride should kick in and be like, wow, like no, like I could do better, like, and not like some higher power or someone's going to tell me to do it. It's from the self. Like no, I need to do better. Or if you're getting overweight, like damn, I need to get myself in better shape. I need to like take pride in myself. And it's the way that the internal qualities express outward in the world that's like trying to force you to be one way, force you to be conform. Which conforming is good sometimes. Sometimes it's good to be like, okay, I can go with the flow and go along with. That takes a sense of pride too, like to be able to humble yourself enough to do that and not be so embarrassed and self-conscious about it. But I guess that's it because I'm out of time. I was wanting to do this, so I just did it, and we'll see how it turns out.